This is the largest strategic reserve release in history. And yet the stock market fell and oil prices stayed high.
Recent nuclear accord between world powers and Iran is expected to benefit Korean companies that once did a brisk business in the oil-rich country.
The Great Maritime Deception. Inside the trillion-dollar shadow economy. The invisible arteries of global trade. The world map you see in geography books is a lie. It shows borders, coastlines, and clearly marked trade routes. But there is a second invisible map. One that doesn't respect borders, ignores international treaties, and operates with a level of precision that defies the most advanced naval intelligence in the world. Welcome to the Shadow Fleet. We are talking about a clandestine, multi-billion-dollar maritime operation that keeps the global energy machine running. Every day, millions of barrels of crude oil move from the world's most sanctioned fields to the world's largest refineries. They are tracked by no one, insured by no one, and officially, they don't exist. This isn't just about smuggling. It's about the fundamental clash between global economic demand and political ideology. Today, we go inside the machinery of this deception, from the hellish, high-pressure rigs of the Persian Gulf to the silent, dark waters of the high seas, to understand how the world's most unwanted oil finds its way into your daily life. The pressure cooker, why the rig never sleeps. To understand the shadow, you have to understand the source. Deep beneath the floor of the Persian Gulf, there lies a vast, ancient reservoir of organic matter, the lifeblood of modern industry. But extracting it here is not the same as drilling in the stable fields of the North Sea or the United States. The conditions here are brutal. The water is corrosive, the temperatures are extreme, and the reservoir pressure is volatile. This is the realm of the roughnecks, the engineers and workers who operate in an environment where any single mistake could mean a catastrophic blowout or an irreversible loss of capital. These rigs are essentially floating factories, massive steel cathedrals anchored into the seabed. Technically, the operation is a masterpiece of desperation. Because these fields are mature, the natural pressure isn't enough to force the oil to the surface. The National Iranian Oil Company has mastered Enhanced Oil Recovery, EOR. They don't just drill, they wage a mechanical war against physics. They pump millions of gallons of pressurized water and gas deep into the earth to create an artificial squeeze. It is a dangerous, delicate, and highly synchronized dance of heavy metal. If they stop, the pressure drops, and the reservoir could be lost forever. So, they don't stop. They produce 1.5 million barrels a day, regardless of what the international community says. It is a testament to the fact that when a nation's survival is on the line, the engineering doesn't just improve, it evolves. The birth of a ghost, the Karg Island logistics. Once the crude is extracted, it enters the logistics phase. This is where the standard maritime rules are stripped away. The heart of this operation is Karg Island, a highly fortified restricted nerve center. This is where the oil makes landfall, stored in massive tank farms that act as a buffer against the export market. But here is where the shadow begins. Standard shipping companies, like Maersk or MSC, have strict compliance departments. They wouldn't touch this oil with a 10-foot pole. So, the shadow network creates its own fleet. They buy aging, end-of-life tankers, vessels that should have been scrapped a decade ago. They use a technique called corporate obfuscation. They create a shell company in a jurisdiction with no public record-keeping, like Panama or the Marshall Islands. This shell company buys the ship. The ship is then registered under a flag of convenience. This means the ship technically belongs to a small nation that doesn't monitor its own fleet. On paper, the ship is a legal entity, but in reality, it is a ghost. The crew is hired through third-party labor agencies that ask no questions, and the paperwork, the bill of lading, the certificate of origin, is manufactured to look as mundane and legitimate as a delivery of bananas. By the time this tanker leaves the jetty, it is a legal fiction, a ghost ship sailing in plain sight. The dark voyage, the art of the AIS blackout. Now, the tanker faces the biggest obstacle, the Strait of Hormuz. This is the most watched waterway on Earth. It is patrolled by the US Fifth Fleet, Allied naval forces, and a massive network of satellite radar. How do you move 300,000 tons of steel through this without being flagged? You turn off the AIS, the Automatic Identification System. Every ship is required by international law to broadcast its identity, course, and speed. By going dark, the ship vanishes from the digital radar screens that cargo insurers and customs agents use. But going dark isn't just turning a switch. It is a tactical risk. In one of the busiest maritime choke points on the planet, sailing without transponders is like driving a blindfolded truck through a crowded highway. You have to navigate via radar and the naked eye. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. These ships hug the coastlines, duck into shallow waters, and time their movements with nightfall. They rely on the fact that the ocean is too big to be completely policed. They use the chaos of the region, the high traffic and the political tension, as their primary camouflage. They are not just hiding from the law, they are hiding in plain sight of it. The laundromat, mid-ocean alchemy. Once they clear the choke points, the most incredible part of the process begins. They need to wash the oil. If a tanker arrives in a Chinese or Middle Eastern port with Iranian crude, it would be seized. So they perform a ship-to-ship STS transfer. They meet at an isolated coordinate in international waters, the middle of the ocean, where there is no jurisdiction and no surveillance. Two massive ships lash together. Huge industrial-grade hoses are hoisted across the gap. The oil is pumped from the shadow vessel to a receiver vessel. This receiver ship is often flying a different flag. It might have started its journey in a completely different country. Once the transfer is done, the Iranian oil is mixed, diluted, and combined with other loads. The paperwork is finalized on the spot, magically relabeling the cargo as mixed blend crude or oil from an unnamed source. The transfer takes days, and during this time, both ships are incredibly vulnerable. A leak here would be a global environmental disaster that no one would take responsibility for. But when the transfer is complete, the oil has been laundered. The original origin is gone. It is now a clean, marketable commodity.